I got a Charlotte Flair hot take that may upset you. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what the hot take is and why there is going to be some outrage. Because whenever you talk about Charlotte Flair, there's already a built in animosity. There's a split within the WWE fan base, if you will. You have Charlotte Flair fans and you have Charlotte Flair haters. You have supporters, you have doubters. You think she's overrated, you think she's underrated, you think that they just drive her down your throat at no end. And I understand that. Look, as someone who has covered pro wrestling professionally full time for the last decade, I can understand that. I've seen Charlotte Flair her rise from NXT to part of the main roster when they called up a bunch of women, including 3 members of the Four Horsewomen, including Charlotte Flair. I've seen her go from the Divas champion with Ric Flair and those weird glittery designs on her face to being crowned the women's champion at WrestleMania 32, walking in as a women's champion, going over Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch in a triple threat match. I've seen her continuously win and lose championships. I've seen her at the very tippy top as a heel, doing some of the best promo and character work that I've seen in recent times, to being forced to portray a babyface, and a babyface who is not very good at being a babyface. At the end of the day, Charlotte Flair will go down as one of the greatest in-ring workers of all time. She will also go down as one of the most controversial and polarizing talents in pro wrestling history, and I'll tell you why. Charlotte Flair is the type that if you think this is how wrestling should be, then you love her, and if you don't think this is how wrestling should be, or shouldn't be rather, you will not like her. Charlotte Flair is a very, very decisive person. She gets people talking just by having her there, just by appearing on television or being booked in matches or in ring promo segments or backstage promo segments. That's just the fact of the matter is. I know that Ric Flair likes to say that he is now known as Charlotte Flair's dad and not Ric Flair, and while that's a nice complimentary, let's not get it twisted. Ric Flair is still one of the biggest names in the history of the pro wrestling business. If you look at it from a pro wrestling industry landscape, Ric Flair is the tippy top, right there with Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Steve Austin, right? He just is. Now, if you look at it from a WWE modern day area, especially with the female division, well, Charlotte Flair is the GOAT, right? In my opinion, if you want to talk about pro wrestling women or women's pro wrestling division, she's right up there with Trish Stratus. Her and Trish are tied right now. I think Charlotte Flair will go down as one of the best of all time. She will go down as the women's GOAT. Here's the hot take that may upset you. She will go down as the women's GOAT. She's right there right now with Trish Stratus in terms of who is ahead of each other. And I think there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of opinion among fans of who is better than who. But I think at the end of the day, Charlotte Flair will prove that she is superior to Trish Stratus. And I'll tell you why. She will go down as being the face of the golden era of women's wrestling, which I think we have been in the last few years. I mean, if you go down the list, the who's have never been this more stacked. If you go and look at who Trish had to work with in her prime, well, it was very far and few between in terms of top tier talent. Right now, they're loaded, and with the ability to sign outside talent that have already established themselves and their star power, as well as their in-ring attributes, as well as the talent in which they're training at the Performance Center. That's why you have such a stacked division right now in WWE when it comes to its women's division. The women's roster has never been more loaded, more of in-ring prowess superior than previous generations. Star power, draw ability, promo work, gimmick work, you name it, they're on fire right now. So Charlotte Flair being the face of that, being able to mix it up with that, also being the fact that not only has she headlined multiple television shows, Trish Stratus only did that, once or twice, she's also done that at premium live events, aka pay-per-view events, and more importantly, she will go down in the history books as being one of the members alongside Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey as part of the first ever women's WrestleMania main event. There are levels to this game. There are accolades in which are superior to others in which you can or not reach. So I think if you look at it from that standpoint, I think Charlotte Flair has the edge over Trish Stratus rather. So And we've seen this match. We've actually seen Trish and Charlotte go at it. I think, and someone will correct me down in the comments there below, I think it was um, SummerSlam 2019, 2018. It was in Canada. It was supposed to be one of Trish Stratus's retirement matches, right? Like, but at the end of the day, Charlotte Flair, she is someone that stands out among the rest. She is someone that is, in my opinion, a megastar. And some people will laugh at that and some people won't. And I'll tell you why. Charlotte Flair is a lot like your John Cena's and your Roman Reigns and your Cody Rhodes and your Hulk Hogan's and your Flairs and your Andres and etc. Meaning, in your Steve Austin's and your Rocks, meaning that when you put a name on a marquee, when you put a name on television, when you mention them on social media, do they get a pop? Do they get an increase? Is the engagement level or the engagement rate, does it go up when those stars are mentioned or advertised or seen on television? Do they go up? Does the numbers go up? Do they move tickets? Charlotte Flair is one of them. Charlotte Flair is a classic heel, okay, regardless of how WWE books her, of the sense of you either pay to see her win or you pay to see her lose. And most of the time, and history will tell us, the more successful way to do it is by having Charlotte Flair be a heel. Therefore, you have people pay to see her get beat. You pay to see her get her butt whooped. You pay to see her get her comeuppance or the babyface revenge on Charlotte Flair. Because don't get it twisted. Regardless of how WWE books her, Charlotte Flair is a better heel than she is a babyface, and it's not even close. If you look at her last run in WWE before she tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus, and she was out for over a year after working Asuka on a SmackDown episode in December of 2023, she was booked as a horrendous babyface, right? They try to get sympathy, and it just doesn't work with Charlotte Flair. In a lot of ways, it didn't work with her father either. There are people, a la The Miz, who are just better heels than babyfaces. They are more of a natural heel. They are more naturally dislikable. They don't have likable qualities. In contrast, there are built-in baby faces. There are built-in people in which you just like their personality. And regardless of their in-ring or character-driven performances, you can't either get past or either want to accept the fact that, hey, I like this person, I'm going to cheer this person, and you can't do anything to change my mind about this person. A la Bianca Belair, right? Like, that's just how it goes in the pro industry. Let me know in the comments there below. Do you agree with me and my Charlotte Flair hot take?